Most serial killers are the way they are because they have had messed up childhoods, their parents were divorced or were fighting all the time and they couldn't pay attention to them. But this killer, well, he did everything in his childhood, so this argument doesn't apply to him. And in this video, we're going to talk about the youngest serial killer of all time. Bihar, India is one of the poorest states in the country, and in this state, one of the poorest areas is known as Musahar, and a person named Amarjit Sada was born there in 1998. Like most families in that village, Amarjit's family was also very poor, but Amarjit wasn't like the other kids in the village. It is reported that he didn't have many friends in the village and he would spend most of his time climbing trees or playing with rocks rather than playing with other kids his age. Now, this could be attributed to one, his own antisocial behavior, but two, the fact that his family was already struggling to make ends meet, and on top of that, they had another child recently, which put the financial burden even more on top of the parents, and that burden had a severe effect on their child as well, and affecting his behavior with his other peers. It's important to note that not every antisocial kid out there is going to be a psychopath, so nobody was suspicious of Amarjit's behavior. But this was all going to take a very fatal turn when Amarjit is visited by his aunt and his 6-year-old cousin. In 2006, Amarjit's aunt visits Amarjit's village due to some job-related reasons, and she brings her 6-year-old daughter with her. One fine day, her and Amarjit's parents go out to buy some vegetables, leaving him and the 6-year-old alone in the house. Amarjit starts off by physically assaulting her, like pinching, punching, and slapping her, and this leads to her crying. However, the crying aggravates him even more, and he proceeds to strangle her with his own bare hands. He then takes her body to the nearby jungle, where he uses a rock to bash her face to a pulp. He then proceeds to bury the body and then go back to his village. After this, and I think this is the worst part, the kid actually confessed to the murder to his parents, and they decided to shield and protect him instead of taking him to the police. But as they say, karma finds a way, and this action of the parents is going to be something that they will regret for the rest of their lives. Soon after this, Amarjit decides that his next victim is gonna be his own sister. One night when his parents are sleeping, he sneaks up to her bed and strangles her to death and leaves her in the bed. The next morning when the mother wakes up and goes to feed the baby but sees its lifeless body, she already has an idea of what has happened. She goes to confront Amarjit and asks him why he did this, and he only says, "Because I wanted to," just like that. And shockingly, even after he killed their daughter and his sister, they still did not approach the police about this and decided to protect Amarjit. I mean, I can't figure out if these are the best or the worst parents ever. Eventually, the police do catch on Amarjit's action despite the parents protecting him. But that also happens after he claims his third and final victim, which was a 6-month-old girl named Khushbu. In the year 2007, the year after Amarjit's last murders, Khushbu's mother drops her off at the daycare, but when she returns to pick her up as usual in the afternoon, she was nowhere to be seen. Reportedly, Amarjit instantly confessed to the crimes and confessed to hitting her with a brick, strangling her, and then burying her body, and he even led the parents to where the body was buried. And after all of this, eventually the police summon him. And it is said that when they do, he had a very calm demeanor, he had no fear on his face, and no regret for his actions. And having no regret is actually very common with every serial killer that is caught, because in their mind, they're just quenching their thirst. They're not doing it for a reason, so they don't have a fear of the law. They're doing it just so they can be normal. It's like a drug addiction for them. because if they don't do it, they can't stay normal and they can't function in society. But what is shocking for me and all the other journalists that covered it back then is the fact that all of these characteristics are coming from an 8-year-old kid, a kid that should be in kindergarten or playing on the playground, but has committed 3 murders and still has zero regret or fear about it, which is absolutely insane. After he was tried in court, he was put in juvenile custody and in isolation since he was still a minor. But at the age of 16, he was let go under a new identity, and it is said that he's still living under that new identity to this day, and he will be around 25 years old today. After his mental evaluations, it was concluded that he had a conduct and behavioral disorder, in which he couldn't differentiate between right and wrong, and would actually feel joy and pleasure when he killed people. And this is common among all serial killers because there's either an urge or a pleasure factor when it comes to them killing anyone, because there's no actual motive to it. And with that, we've reached the end of the video, guys. Let me know what you guys think about this case and the video, and let me know what other out of the ordinary case I can cover for you guys, because my whole point of this channel is to look at cases that are out of the ordinary and just bizarre. So if you like this video and want to see more such content, be sure to like, comment and subscribe and have the notifications on, and I will see you guys in the next video.